is the Select Board Water Commissioner meeting for October 23rd of 2023. I'll read tonight's agenda. Under new business, we've got fire department here. We need to sign some warrants. We need to approve some meeting minutes. We're gonna go into executive session at the end of the meeting to talk about the employee policy, and then under old business, we got the Northwest Vermont Wheelers map of the roads open to ATVs that we need to discuss and decide on. I guess we can jump right into the fire department. What you got for us tonight, everyone?
Okay, a couple of things, all good news.
Okay. Go right up here and sit down.
So, in May, the fire department was awarded a grant from FEMA. The grant was to buy our new SCBA, the air packs, and a compressor that we utilize to fill them with. The total grant amount that we received from FEMA will be $191,368.57. That's replacing 14 air packs that we know are at least 19 years old, and the compressor was in excess of 44 years old. And actually, the night of the fire at your place, the compressor gave up. Yeah. There is a requirement for a 5% match for that grant, local funding. We had, in our normal budget, we have a line item in there for equipment purchases. It's about $22,000 this year. We have held back spending just almost $10,000 of that in anticipation of getting this grant. We did. So we have a commitment there of $9,800 and some odd dollars. It's $9,568.43. So we are taking that out of our current approved budget in that amount to pay for our portion of these air packs. We had earmarked that hose to buy, or that money to buy fire hose with this year. So we have withheld spending that money to replace a bunch of fire hose. So we're asking for a supplemental funding of $9,568.43, which we'll utilize to buy the fire hose that we had anticipated buying at the beginning of the year. This award, by the way, just kind of tooting our own horn here. It's probably a 45-page application. It's a competitive nationwide process. So we feel that we did a lot of work to get the grant. We're very happy that we did get it. Senator Welch, Sanders, and our representative all gave us letters to send to FEMA in support of our grant. And of course, we requested those also. So that's the first bit of business I had for you is we're asking for a supplemental funding of $9,568.43 so that we can buy the fire hose that we had anticipated buying.
All right. We could probably use some of that ARPA money, right? What you guys think?
Yep, I agree with that.
Yeah, need a motion?
Yep, I need a motion to supplement the fire department's, well, it'd be covering the match, right? So that's the amount of funds you need.
That is the 5% that was utilized.
Yeah. So I guess I need that motion.
I'll make a motion that we cover the 5% match of the fire department's grant through ARPA funds.
I'll second it.
All right. Any discussion on that? With that, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
Thank you.
That'll do that. That's a good call to go to.
Our proposed proposed budget for 2024.
Been doing your homework already, huh? Started doing that.
I'm sorry?
So you have November yet, you're really on it.
Well, actually, we used the September CPI date last year when we did this, so that's exactly what we used again this year. So after the end of September, we were able to do that. The CPI for the Northeast, the Consumer Price Index increase for the Northeast is 3% this year.
Yep.
So as we look down through here, we level funded everything. There's three things, and I put little explanations on the side that are a little bit different. The equipment fund, $50,820. That is what we will owe for that truck this year. Historically, we have not done an inflationary rise on that because we anticipate that's going to pay for the next truck and hopefully for the truck after that. It does have to have some inflationary in there. Now, in addition to inflation, like in 2027, there's a requirement by the EPA that the motors have to change. And it always comes with a cost. So my experience is a 4% increase has covered those inflation and regulatory increases. So I've increased that line item, and then if you look down to what's currently the fire station loan, which we said would combine with the equipment fund on the maturity of the station loan, I increased that at 4% also. So those items combined will become the equipment fund. No change in the amount of taxes that we're collecting for the fire department. The only other thing on there is dispatching. We currently have budgeted in the approved budget $13,727. We have to date paid them $18,927. So obviously that has to increase. That's 38% increase.
I know what that difference was. Last year, we only made 3 payments, so an extra one went into this year.
One went into this year. So there's a potential there could be some savings there then into next year.
Do we sign a contract every year for that inspection? Is it yearly or is it?
I think we did a 2 or 3 year
2 or 3
last
years?
time.
Yeah, I was just curious.
Okay. Because I had just recently got an updated number from, or an updated where the budget is.
Yep.
And that was in there, 18,927. So I did increase that to 19,000, which shows 38. The only other items in there are just, I call them housekeeping, but the carbon bottle replacement down at 36, that's in there at $2,037. All of our bottles will be replaced by the grant. The order that we have in place today is for 30-year cylinders. So that's not something that we will have to address for many, many
So
years.
those are gonna be the same year though, when they come due, or will some of them not pass the test before that 30 years?
We have enough that we'll be in good shape. We'll be okay. So, but we won't need to replace any more.
No, but I'm saying, so you're getting all these in one lump sum?
That's correct.
So,
Every 5 years, they have to go out and be tested.
okay. So how
But
many,
that's a cheat.
how many of them don't make the 30 years? You know, is there a percentage that,
No, we'll be good. We'll be good.
so in 30 years, you're gonna have to replace them all again?
That's correct.
We have
That's
to
why I was just,
Yeah,
if
15
it gets
years.
back on a cycle,
Yeah.
because you were on like a cycle, you do like 5 or 10 a year. or
Well,
something.
the bottles that we had were 15 years.
Oh, they were.
The air packs today are 19 years old. So we've been replacing some of those
Yeah.
bottles for about 8 years.
Yeah.
But that's not something that any of us will probably have to address.
Probably not. I was just curious.
But if you look down just a couple of items below that, the small equipment purchase and equipment, that line item today is at 2328. And we've already spent $44.95 in there. Now that's just keeping things running. I actually just gave Kim another bill tonight for $500. And it is literally bulbs that are out on our light tower on our truck. So that is just keeping stuff that we have today running. So I took the bottle replacement, added it into that item in the proposed budget. It's not any new money, it's just moved.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, with the dispatch at 38%, we're at 5.35% overall. Take that out of the equation and we're actually below 3% overall. So that may be, there may be some savings to be found there in the dispatching. But overall, our increase is 11,484. 5% including the dispatching.
Yeah.
So that's, we think we're in good shape with that.
How many more years we got on that station loan?
Station loan matures in '24.
December,
2 years.
December of 24, right?
I think it says December of '24.
In the book it was out, so yeah, I think it's just
Yeah.
this year next.
We got payment this year, payment next year, and then,
Yep. The,
Any word on the truck?
so.
Just out of curiosity, I know it's.
Yeah, no, I mean, we recently were just doing some stuff that they call order review. And the date that was on the sheet, which is not real, was July of '25. So it would be late fall of '25, which is pretty much what we anticipated. Yeah.
Do you know how much, I'm just wondering, is it possible or should we start building into this budget some small amount every year that can just be set aside for grant matching? So that way as you guys, keep
For grant matching,
keep applying for these grants, so we're not counting on, the ARPA funds in the future, if it's just something we start building into the fire department's budget. It saves $10,000 a year. If you use it, you don't use it, but it's there for you for the grant matching funds.
we certainly could. This was the fourth year in a row that we had, well, it's at least the fourth year that we had applied for the FEMA grants and had not received funding. They are extremely competitive, so as much as I would love to say that we're going to be successful next year.
Is that the only one though? So I know you've done, did you get grants for the dry hydrants?
But they're normally small amounts and some of them do and don't have match requirements.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, this is an exceptionally large grant for us to receive. Any questions? Looks good.
okay, it looks good.
Okay.
So this is really good budget.
Good, thank you.
Any other questions from the fire department over here? No. I guess we could, sign on. Well, doing that, my thoughts after just talking to Kim after she had the discussion with the guy from Northwest Riders, I think I just not put any roads on the map. But that's, there's a lot of roads that go to putting people in predicaments where they're gonna be riding illegally. If it's guiding them to go on to state highways, that it's, like, they come back on us and say, hey, your map said we could go this way. And then we get pulled over on state highway. Or I guess I don't care, I don't know what you guys think on it, but.
It's not like we have a destination that they can get to in Sheldon.
Right. You could show on the map that our town roads are open. but,
You can't get a lot of places from here.
right.
I'm fine with that, I agree with that. Not introducing it in here, in the town.
Yep.
I feel the same way. You don't want them riding up your road, turning around in your driveway.
Oh, I already have it.
Because I mean, it's a town road.
Yep.
It's, you know, but it doesn't get you anywhere.
Right, well, you know, when they try to trespass, they get places, just like you in the field. Yeah.
All right, I think we're just gonna decline doing a map for them. What else we got?
Do we have anything on the email from the resident of the creek that Seth responded to? Did they say if they were coming to the meeting or if they were?
He was invited.
Okay.
You find out anything at your last meeting about what they're doing with the 105?
It's not being paid this year.
They're skipping that this year. Missed
Mhm.
So, was there a reason? I mean, why, or?
I didn't have a reason of why, just was told that they weren't. He didn't have the answer of why,
it. That flood damage,
probably,
did that affect many state roads or?
or the fact that so much rain.
Town roads? 'Cause they must have to get
Southern
eight.
part of the state, they wash.
Of course, they have to get eight for some of those towns too. It's big damage. Do you know if Berkshire Highgate have had any luck with hiring an administrator, or
I think it's got an
are
administrator.
they doing that?
Sharon, I think that's that one should take. Administrator job. But which for now, I don't know.
Yeah.
Have you had any inquiries about the truck yet?
Had a lot of people looking.
Kim doesn't want to go and test rides with them.
Just tire kicking then, no serious.
What's it say, make an offer, or? Sorry.
Did you put, make it more,
No.
put it on the website? It's nice. Oh, I thought it was nice.
Oh, yeah. Just had enough repairs on its tires, so,
Thank you, Raymond.
thank you.
Thank you.
It's gonna go long,
We have
record
minutes
meetings,
and
gonna have-
this and then executive.
You,
What's up?
So we have minutes and then warrants and
Oh,
executive.
I do have that.
It's responsibility.
Four buddies, you get the front stuff, the Buford lines. Tends to overheat when the radiator's empty. Hey, bubble,
No, that's what that's called.
I'll read the minutes from the previous meeting. I got Select Board Water Commissioner meeting from October 9th of 2023. Present was David Blubett, Rick Piazny, Stephen Dodd, Nick Norris, Seth Hungerford, Kim Dufresne, Tom and Pam Callan. I opened the meeting at 7:30 and read the agenda. Additions to the agenda include an executive session to discuss personnel. Tom and Pam Callan asked the board if we would extend the sewer line to their home on Shellville Road, and if they could upsize the water line on Hill Road to accommodate new houses. The board will discuss with Hubert what would be needed and could discuss replacing the sewer line on Mill Street at the same time. Discussion on VASA trail mapping. The board would like to speak with Brian Benoit from Northwest Vermont Whalers to see which roads would intersect with neighboring towns. Signed some warrants. I read the meeting minutes from September 25th meeting. We amended the minutes to reflect that Gianni was informed by his own administrator that if it was his intent to put up a fence that met the necessary requirements, it would be in effect pause the action of the letter. It would in effect pause the action of the letter. Nick motion to accept as amended and seconded by Rick. Motion carried. Seth spoke with Vern about the school parking lot location. They agreed that both the school and the town needed more information as to where the school parking lot would be located. The board discussed selling the 2015 utility truck. We'll check to see if plow should be included. 8:20, Nick motion to go into executive session, seconded by Seth, and the motion carried. 9 o'clock, we exited the executive session. Nick motion to adjourn, seconded by Rick, and the motion carried, meeting adjourned. Get a motion to accept these minutes as read.
I'll make the motion.
Alright, a second on that?
A second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thanks for that. We good with all this? We can take a motion to go into executive session.
I'll make a motion to go into executive session, then adjourn the meeting when we exit.
Okay. We get a second on that?
Second that.
Alright. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Alright, we are going into executive.